Hello, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today we're going to take a look at Visionary Woman Tarot by Christine Gorman, published by Weiser Books. Isn't this a gorgeous box? I mean, it's just so pretty. This is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. So, choice to put it on the front of the box was clutch. I just love the front of this box. So it says, featuring the magical art of Christine Gorman, Visionary Woman Tarot captures the essence of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but expands it to tie the mystical to the everyday, stimulating the unconscious and psychic parts of yourself in order to obtain practical, real-life answers to personal and profound questions. You do not need to be a woman to access Visionary Woman Tarot. The archetypes portrayed here, including Rachel Pollack as the world, have a vibration that is otherworldly and expansive. These cards are spiritual wisdom nuggets designed to nudge epiphanies, make real change, and find soulful solutions in your daily magical life. And then there are a few, there's a quote here from Benabel Wynn, and then it just talks about how the artist's artwork has been displayed in galleries throughout the United States and private collections and also in magazines, because I know that Rachel Pollack painting was in a magazine at one point. So she's definitely a renowned artist. And this is a beautiful deck. The backs, and you can see that pomegranate motif with the starburst, and then these coins. These are the Greek coins that she uses for the coins in the deck. So that's the back. I mean, everything is very intentional as you go through. The cards themselves are like a anti-scratch matte coating, and they do have edging. There's this like brass kind of brush silver edging on the end. I don't know if this is like a silver, it's like a mix between bronze and silver, something kind of in between. If you've received the Mash Market edition of Tarot Emblemata, this is the same packaging. It's the same cardstock and the same edging. So there's no like overarching feminine theme. I wouldn't even say that this is an inherently feminine deck, to be honest. There's a mix of figures in the deck, but it was created by a visionary woman, so that's why it's called the Visionary Woman Tarot. The cards are just her reimagining the cards in the way that she feels the tarot, the way that she feels the tarot, really. And um and and she writes about that in the guidebook. There's no overarching theme. There's no women that you need to look up. It's not like Our Tarot or Rebel Witches Tarot or anything like that, where there's a different person on every card and they represent the archetype. It's not like that. It's just a tarot deck where the artist has re-envisioned the Rider-Waite-Smith. So let's take a look. There's some acknowledgments in the front, and there's a forward by Benabel Wynn that kind of explains all of the stuff that I was just talking about, plus some more, because Benabel is much more eloquent than I am. So in the introduction here, she writes, I see the tarot cards as little visionary puzzle pieces that remind us that we are not alone. I have interpreted them as rays of refracted light in the human experience, with triumphs and potholes included. Gender is fluid at all times, even if specified. The core of the question, intention, and solution is viewed impartially first, from the inside out. In my years of divining, tarot has been a thoroughly constructive tool to receive a sense of the esoteric and archetypal clockworks, the inner workings of the person, situation, and query. The tarot can spark the seed of the idea, speaking directly to your higher self. It is from there that you leap and make it your own. And so I think that that kind of explains where she was going with this deck. There's not anything that she's trying to push onto you. She's just giving you her vision of the card, and then you're meant to leap and make it your own. It's meant to kind of tap on your intuition, but leave things very open for you to discover your way. And she says here that she says there's no theme. She's never had a theme before, so she's Gen X. She's all about no boxes, no labels. And she says each of her wands is different. Her cups change with every card. She doesn't expect every sword to be the same. She channeled the images with the experience of how she sees each pip, court, or major tarot card. And every card brings the emotional truth of the accumulated definitions of my traditional tarot study and the personal definitions that grew from my work. The healer equation is about her theory on tarot, like her pedagogy and how she thinks of the way tarot works, and kind of where she's coming from in her tarot practice. Each of these is sort of a thought essay in a upright and reversed section for each card, right? So they're not going to say, oh, in this card you're going to see this, in this card you're going to see that. These are the keywords and that and so forth and so on. It's more like a thought essay of the what she was feeling as what the card makes her feel, right? Or the things that the cards make her think. It does explain sort of where the artwork comes from, but it does also leave space for you to make your own interpretations. So I'm going to read the first one just so you can get a feel for it. And it says, have you ever flown around on your flying carpet, feeling wholeheartedly present with all of your senses, taking in the beauty of your environment, even though you might be on the cliff's edge? Can you fall off a flying carpet? I'm sure they have spells that protect the driver, the flyer, the fool. The fool is a confident and uninformed character with unparalleled self faith, yet more often than not, egoless. Serendipity is a key player in the fool's interactions. The fool is guileless, eager to learn, to be involved, a harbinger of new beginnings and heirs of fresh start, an unpredictable catalyst for change. Less about ignorance is bliss, and more about embracing the adventure of learning what you do not know. The fool has true magical connections, represented by a cloudy dragon guardian whispering in the fool's ear secrets of the universe. And so here you have the fool with its cloudy dragon there on the magic carpet. And then reversed, it says the fool reversed is feeling unprepared. In truth, the fool might be prepared, just caught up in that specific habit of emotion. If insecurities are in a state of inflammation, it could lead to doubt. It cannot hurt to double check plans. The fool reversed could point to a premature moment of time. And almost ready, take your time guidance. It might be the moment to reestablish the right timing, rhythm, or method of delivery. More preparation is needed, which could save time and energies in the long run. No rush. And so that's kind of how they're all written. Even the minors, you get the same kind of write up for upright and reverse kind of thought essay on the card. And then in the back of the book, there are a couple of spreads and about the author. And if you'd like to read that, you can do so. The rest of it. Okay, so here we go. Here's our Fool, the Magician. She has all of her things down below, but then I see a cloud here. I see lightning here, also coming from above. This is the beautiful card from the front of the box, the High Priestess. Here's our Empress. I love that she is wielding a little bit of magic there in her hand, bringing it from within herself. The wheat on her headband, the stars in her hair. She's got lightning bolts at her ears and also bursts there. There's a snake. So many different pieces of symbolism on the card that you can tap into as you're reading. Here's our Emperor. He feels so lonely, right? Like the power is a lot for him. You know, there's no one there. But he does have his laurel leaf. He has his pomegranate, this powerful bird flying in. Like that she added that pomegranate. I don't know if you can see. Ugh, it's not going to focus. The pomegranate in his hand because of the bringing in that sort of more yin energy. The Hierophant, you just have a door, you know, with the keys, and anything that you want can be behind that door. So you can interpret it how you like. Here are our lovers, and here you can see the motifs that you find on the back of this card in the background there. That's this basically. The Chariot, the Strength card, Hermit, And then here, the Hermit with the kitty. Wheel of Fortune. And the cards are really like, when you think about some of the crossovers, because if you when I look at these cards, sometimes I can see elements of other cards in them, and it makes me wonder like, oh, how would I connect those cards, right? And so now I'm playing connect the dots in my head. Like for instance here, this Wheel of Fortune reminds me a lot of the Seven of Cups, because of all of these things would be things we might find within those cups, right? So now my brain is playing connect the dots. How would I connect the Wheel of Fortune with the Seven of Cups? You know, there's Justice. We have a Cobra about to strike, the Hanged Man, Death. Here you see the bursts that you find on the back of the card. So you can see the layering there that happens on the back of the card. I love the way she painted it. The wings, everything is so smushed in, you know? So it's like you're only going to find what you really want to find in this temperance card. So it's like, well, what are you going to choose to help you with this temperance? Are you going to choose these malachite cups? I'm thinking these are malachite, or this water, or these wings. I love her bob. You know, all of these are balance, you know. So love it. Um, the Devil, the Tower. Here we have a spinal column that is broken. Um, the Star, the Moon, the Sun. These are meant to be antique Dutch trading beads, she says, and they're meant to represent currency in this card. Um, And then she says, like rays of light, good things are coming your way. The sun can blast through any foggy thoughts and stormy times. If the sun comes up in a reading, it lights up any cards around it like positive punctuation. So I guess you can pass these off to the other cards as a currency for changing the or like upgrading the energy of the other cards. Here's the Judgment card with it's like you're in the waiting room here, all these ancestral pictures of people who've come through before. There's a window to the outside world, but you're in here waiting to hear what your role was in life, and you know how it went for you up until now. And this is that Rachel Pollack image for the world card. And she does have a story about this image in the book. I'll leave it for you to discover if you do get the deck. The Ace of Wands, the Two of Wands, Three of Wands. There's layers here in this Three of Wands. Like she's holding a wheel, but then there's this head here and an arm reaching out. There's energy coming from above, or some sort of message coming from above. The wands, this web, this water here with the boats, which we see in the RWS card. So yeah, so many layers. The Four of Wands. Again, this ray of light motif that comes through the cards, through some of the cards. The Five of Wands, the Six of Wands. Um, I think this was meant to be like a koi fish representing success. I can't remember the message on that one. The Seven of Wands. Let me look in the book. Hang on. It says, yes, yes, victory. What is more important is the momentum. It's about what you have put forth and represented in the world. This magical koi fish is riding the wave of success. The Six of Wands can illustrate not only what will work, but also what will be triumphant. You have the right idea. Continue this way. The current is with you. Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands, the Nine of Wands, 10. This is such a beautiful picture with the reds and the golds. Page of Wands. She does mention in the guidebook that she wants meant for the court cards to feel gender fluid, and that even though she may write he or she in the book, um, she still wants them to feel gender fluid because that's how she reads. So here's the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups. I love that Two of Cups. Three of Cups, very cool. Four of Cups, the Five of Cups. Every time I see this Five of Cups, I think she looks a little happy to be on a Five of Cups card. Here's the Six of Cups, the Bubbles of Nostalgia, the Seven of Cups, Eight, the Nine. I thought this Nine of Cups was really interesting. It does explain the image. It says, in this image, we have great big cups. A small figure walks between them like in a labyrinth. A good time to check the motivations of the person in this card. They may not have the emotional wisdom that is called for. I feel the Nine of Cups is giving room to level up and connect. Maybe it is calling to go deeper, to a deeper place of wisdom, promoting growth and abundance and healing. Walking amongst all of these giant emotions that maybe they haven't quite found their way because there's so many of them, and there's, it's like, how will they get out, how will they get out of this maze? The Ten of Cups, the Page of Cups, lots of things going on here. Lots of very creative looking card leading into that creativity side of things. The Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. Onto the swords, we have the Ace of Swords, the Two of Swords, again that light burst motif, the Three of Swords, Four of Swords, taking some time, the Five of Swords. So the reason that there's a tiger on this is, she explains it in the book. It says, in Benabal Wen's translation of the I Ching, she notes the sage's foot. She's talking about the hexagram 10. So she says the sage's foot is on the tiger's tail. Proceed with caution. Keep your footsteps light, and you will be able to tread through danger without harm. The Five of Swords can be a complex set of circumstances and can be fueled by inferior characteristics in the environment that are feeling needy or greedy. So she's connecting this card with the hexagram 10, which is about treading lightly so that you don't get bitten by a tiger. Trying to avoid the bite of a tiger. So that's why there's a tiger on the card. Six of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Eight, Nine of Swords. I remember seeing this card and thinking, well, where can this person even go? Because if this is in their mind, like, where in their mind is it safe for them to even be and tread here? Um, the floor is cracking and smoke is coming out. I mean, maybe outside of these windows, who knows what's beyond that door? You know what I mean? Like, it might be worse. I don't know. Here's the Ten of Swords, the Page of Swords, the chess pieces here, the Knight, Queen, and the King. Onto the coins, and these are the wooden coins from the back of the card, the Grecian, ancient Greek coins. So here's the Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Three, the Four of Pentacles, a lot going on in that card. Let's see if I can hold it up, if it'll focus. My camera does not want to focus on this deck at all, but all right. So here's the Five of Pentacles, the Six, Seven, the Eight, painting, 9, and 10. Page, Knight, Queen, and the King. And again, the backs. Okay, so it is normal tarot size. You can see up against a normal size tarot card, same size. This is a Blue Angel Oracle. That's the size of that. It is, I would say, it's like a cardboardy stock, very bendy. And I don't think that there is any core in this. So, you know, if you're going to be riffling, you're going to want to make sure that you're riffling in both directions to keep the cards from getting like some kind of weird, wonky thing going on. If you're an overhander, these are going to be really nice for you because they have that nice coating, that anti-scratch coating on them that is nice and slidey. The on my copy, this gilding is not catching, so that's good too. So if you're an overhand shuffler, let me try to riffle. My finger is hurting me, so I don't know if I'll be able to riffle this or not, but because I can't really use my finger. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So this is bendy enough for me to be able to riffle, even though I cannot control them with my finger. So that's good. That means it's really, really bendy. Yeah, this is a great riffle. If I had a working finger, it would be really good. So let's pick a card, and then we will show you how the guidebook, a 9 of Swords. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, because I wanted to see what was going on with this card anyway. Okay, so let me just show you how this breaks down because I didn't show you earlier, but because I forgot. So you've got your majors in the front. And then when you get past the majors, where am I? Moon. All right, so then you get into the court cards, and it does the courts by suit. So you've got the king, queen, knight, page of wands, then you get into the cups and so forth and so on in that way. And it starts with the king and goes down to the page. Then it does the aces, all of the aces together, ace, cups, pentacles, and then it does the wands 2 through 10, and then the cups 2 through 10. There's no intro into like the energy of the cups or anything. It just starts at 2 and goes through 10, and then so forth and so on. And that's how the book is broken down. And so we're on the swords. So let's get to the 9 of Swords. So if you'd like to read that for yourself, there's the first page. And here is the second page. Ooh, there's a lot. I'm probably not going to read all of that. So if you do want to read all of it, definitely screenshot it and you can read it for yourself. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the upright. I'm not going to read all of this, but it says psychological terrors day or night, a guilt-driven mental nagging. It is important to check in with ourselves or double check our levels of stability. Everyone has a list, a handful of things that help keep our feet on the ground in a comfortable way. It could be the simplest things, the importance of our everyday routines, healthy coping mechanisms, or our environments. That includes people, places, and things. Knowing the importance of maintaining these personal details can give us a solid reference, a touchstone, or a sounding board. For when we maintain what we need to support ourselves, we can clearly see that guilt is a weapon of the shame game. Another person need not be involved. Seeds of guilt can be planted by unconscious learned behavior. We would set the dining table for guilt every time we put our forks and napkins down just out of habit. Guilt is a manipulation technique used for eons since the beginning of man. It is the pecking order pyramid scheme. It serves the folks at the top. And even if families have worked on their evolution, it can still pop up. This card reflects a mental crisis fueled by ideas often disguised as truth. And I'm going to stop there. But there's more just in the upright, and then there's also the reversed. So I showed you earlier. You can definitely read that for yourself, but that is kind of the idea for the guidebook. And then of course, like I was saying earlier, there's lots to see in the card itself, right? So I've been using this a little, but I haven't done any pairings, so I thought we could try some here today just to see how it vibes out with another deck, because is doing a lot on its own. Each of the cards have their own little tale, their own little story, their own little vibe. And then together, sometimes it can feel like it has an oracle because the cards are so different, right? Some of them are a little bit surreal, some of them are more realistic, like some of them have a magical element to them, like this flying carpet, and some of them feel very realistic, like this one, or even this one, which feels a little bit, I guess, more surrealistic. And some of them feel almost abstract. So, like that one feels very realistic. It's just a tiger. And some of them feel almost abstract. So, there's a mix of art styles here. And I'm wondering if putting an oracle with it is going to even be something I want to do. I feel like it makes its own oracle, if that makes sense. But it's like it's doing its own oracle thing. But I'm going to try it right now with the Alice the Wonderland oracle and see how that goes. I'm using the mini here, the pocket sized one. So we have Temperance in the Fool with Believe. And then this pocket size deck has messages on the back, but I like how it has a title right on the front as well. So if I just wanted to work with that and not get into this, I think that could be okay. So we have the Tower with use your time well, because you know maybe this has happened and now it's like maybe it happened because you weren't using your time well. So as we rebuild, we need to make sure we're using our time well and making the choice to use our time well and devoting ourselves to certain things rather than scattering ourselves, right? The Knight of Cups with Seven of Cups and Mortality. Do not drink poison. I always say that's good advice. With the Page of Cups and the Three of Swords, and it looks like he's putting a sword down his throat and out his heart. And I'm looking at this. This kind of looks like almost like intestines down here. Isn't that interesting? Death with the Hierophant and Such a Curious Dream. And let's just try it with one more. Page of Wands, Six of Cups, and I Want to Be a Queen. Okay. So that's the Alice the Wonderland Oracle. Let's try another one now. This is the Sacred Rebels Pocket Oracle. Something else new in my collection. I'm not sure if the art styles will do well here, but I just wanted to see. So we have the Seven of Swords with the Knight of Swords and Softly, Softly, the Tender Touch. So if the tendency is to be quick and with your words and maybe not even stop to make sure that they are true, but just to try to influence people, perhaps you can take an approach that is softer, with being softer with your words, not so sharp with your words, not so quick, and definitely more honest, right? I like the way this energy is coming from her mouth, because even though it says tender touch, there's this energy coming from her mouth, which would be breath coming out of her throat chakra, right? So, and then these kind of blues happening here, and then blue coming here. Every journey starts with a single step, and she's got a suitcase here, Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. So it's like if you're taking all of your earthly possessions and maybe making some kind of really large, huge adjustment here. It's scary, but every journey starts with that single step. Ace of Wands here. Defend to the end the worthwhile, if it's worth it. Oh, look at the Five of and the Four of Swords. Look at that. I think these they want to work together, even though they may not look the most aesthetically, pleasing, or even just, I don't know, they're not matchy is what I'm trying to say, but they like each other, and as far as like energy and messaging, where they're trying to go with their messages seems to want to be, cohesive. So I like that about this pairing. And this one has a lot of different styles of art in it. So I think some of them might work and some of them won't. Releasing allegiances with the Eight of Swords and the Page of Swords. And then let's just do one more. Diving for light with the Sun and the Two of Cups. We'll stop there. Oh, look at that. It's like, yeah, the artwork doesn't match, but that message, the message, and even we're talking about light, and then you got this yellow kind of coming through, all the way from one side to the other. Maybe it's actually diving underneath here because it says diving for light. So I'm wondering, what is it that is that it needs to go under? What are we diving underneath? I want to turn it over and see, but I'm not. All right. So, anyways, this is the oh wait, this one is what I'm taking out, the Sacred Rebels. So these two cards reminded me of this deck, and this is the Portraits of a Woman, Aspects of a Goddess. I I have not really looked at this deck yet, so I'm really not sure what we're gonna get because I haven't had a chance to look at it. I literally just took the plastic off of it so we could look at it here because it popped into my head. But I'm really curious to see. I was just saving it, I was saving it for when I was ready, and now I'm ready. I want to try it. So this is the Two of Cups with the Sun and I Am Free. I'm gonna keep them in order because I still want to look through this deck. I haven't done that yet. The Five of Swords and the King of Pentacles with I Am Beautiful. See, I'm liking the color story happening here. Three of Wands and Two of Swords with I Am Generous. With generosity. Yeah, I like this. Five of Pentacles with the Empress and confidence. Five of Pentacles with the Empress and confidence. And I'm looking at, the things going on around the head here. Eight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles with daring. And let's just do one more. Reflective with the Five of Cups and the Six of Wands. Interesting. I guess it depends on how I would like to read this. If I wanted to read it this way, I would say that the success um, has been had is only causing grief, and so maybe we want to take some time to reflect on if we want to continue down this path, even though it feels successful, you're not happy. And then if I was going to read it this way, I might say that this feeling of woe or this sadness, this intense sadness is stemming from not being able to see the success that you've had. It's covered, or it's being overshadowed by reflecting on things that have gone wrong and all of the things that are making you sad or have made you sad in the past. um, I think I think that there could be a lot that I could take from a pairing like this. And then, if I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, well, which way would I read it? If I wanted to make that decision, I might see which one of these colors pops out to me first and then go that way. If it's the red, I start here. If it's the yellow, I start here. If it's something else, maybe I start here. So I think that's cool. I like this one. Because these cards are meant, see how realistic this one looks compared to like the abstract situation going on over here. But then this one has like kind of like layers of both, so it kind of works for me. But then these cards are meant to be read intuitively, and I have a feeling that the color, I haven't used this deck yet, like I said, I just took the plastic off, but I have a feeling the color and the texture in this one are going to activate intuition for me as well. So I think these could work. So that is the Portraits of a Woman, oracle. Okay, last step. Let's just take a quick look at the chakra wisdom cards with it. I'm curious about, color and how color would go with this. And at the moment, I can't put my hands on my color oracle, my energetics of color. So we're gonna look at this one. So this this is a chakra deck, but it's also has a lot of it's because it's chakras. It's the 7 colors. So, and these have great keywords. So we have the Ace of Cups with the King of Swords and mysticism. Destiny with the 8 of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. We have like a gray color here. The blue with expansion. 3 of Pentacles and 2 of Pentacles with expansion. Acceptance. With the 7 of Pentacles and Moon. This message is giving me like what people are telling you should have to accept for your life, or because it's false. Whatever this acceptance is that's happening, there's somebody that is that it's not. You don't have to accept that. You still have a ways to go, and more will be coming to you because you've sown the seeds, and you don't need to accept anything that people are telling you that you should accept. That's the message I'm getting from that. Then we have the King of Wands with the Knight of Wands and Victim. From this Knight of Wands, oh, okay. Victimized by the Knight of Wands, maybe protected by the King, or victimized by the King and protected by the Knight. Interesting. This could be interesting little storytelling pair. The 6 of Swords, the Strength with Abundance, and then let's just try one more. Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, and Perseverance. Okay, that's the last one. All right, so those are my thoughts, the pairings I wanted to try. We've done it all. So that's all I have for the Visionary Woman Tarot. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If this one, did you pick it up? Are you using it? What are you pairing it with? How is it reading for you? Did you find a place for it in your reading practice? The best ways that you find it works, it reads. I find it to be a really kind of introspective storytelling deck. One of those decks where you have to kind of decide what you're going to take and what you're going to leave, where you're going to go with it, and you have to take yourself. You have to kind of guide yourself. You know what I mean? When I'm reading with this deck, it feels almost like I have, there's the title and then there's the image, and they're coming together to make one, and I'm needing to, in my brain, put them together and find that focal point. So it's almost like a storytelling, pick your way kind of deck. What is it called? Those books. I'm reading one now. It's like a choose your own adventure. Yeah, there you go. A choose your own adventure kind of story, a kind of deck for me. And each time I pull a card, I'm choosing a different adventure. I'm choosing a different way to go with it. And so I like decks like that. But you'll have to let me know how it's reading for you in the comments below. I will put links down there in the description box below for everything you saw here today. Anything that I showed, if I can find a link, it'll be down there. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe, do the hypes, use the links, the Amazon links down below, because anything I get from Amazon, I use to buy things to show you guys here. So, that's also supporting the channel. Commenting helps to support the videos. All those things help. So if you want to, that's how you can do it. And until I see you guys next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.